Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Lunchtime with Anna. Today, I have a very special guest, but before I get started with this guest and who they are and what they mean in the kingdom of the Lord, I want to start by telling everyone COVID is out there. COVID is very serious. COVID will kill. Please wear your mask. Please wash your hands. Please if you have medical training, wear your gloves, you know how to dispose of them. If not, you can always watch a YouTube video and it will very easily show you how to dispose of the gloves. With that being said, I have a very special guest today, Kindu Kinte. He reached out to me because of somebody else whom I interviewed, which is also an amazing soul. But thank you for taking out of your busy schedule to come on Lunchtime with Anna really quick to do this interview. How are you doing? And tell the audience about you. Tell the audience about you. Let's start with your past. But first, how are you doing?
Doing good. What's up, everybody? I hope everybody else doing good out there. I'm having a wonderful day. I can't complain.
Amen. Amen. It's always a blessing. It's always a blessing. Every day we're up.
Always. You'll catch me smiling more than frowning nowadays. I don't care what's going on.
Amen. That's right. That's right.
Peace. I'm keeping my joy, my happiness, my eyes on the prize.
Absolutely. 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 So this is what I want to do. Tell me a little bit. Well, tell the listening audience. He sent me his bio. He's got a website, and we'll give you guys all this information at the end. But of course, as you guys know, I like for you guys to see who the person is, so you're getting a feel of who is he, what brought him here, why is he doing this. So as you guys know, Lunchtime with Anna is always, if it's about Christ, I'm there first, right? So I'll do an interview on anything, but Christ followers to me are the most important, because that person's testimony might change one or maybe 100 lives out there. And that to me means everything, doing my Father's work first, right? So tell them, who were you? What was your past that kind of has shoved you on to here to where you're at now? What is your past?
Well, my past is just full of alcohol abuse, full of weed smoke, full of women.
Which is legal in many states, I mean.
Right now. I was doing it. But you know what I'm saying? My past was full of anger, full of depression, full of mess, you know what I'm saying? Full of insecurities, full of me just being lost, trying to figure out who I really am. You know what I'm saying? What am I on this earth really to do? You know what I'm saying? So it's just a lot of growing up I had to do, you know, well, just like any other.
It's growing up, and I'm sorry for interrupting that. But you said something very pivotal there. Good point. You talk about your alcohol, but then you talk about depression and other things that you had going on. Do you think that it could have been depression that led to, you know, the alcohol abuse? And like I say, for me, you know, I don't believe that anything in excess should be taken. That's when it becomes a problem, right? When you do anything in excess. That includes eating, whom a lot of us Christians love to eat because we let go of other things. If it wasn't this or that, we just all eat now, right? When there's a gathering. So which isn't good, because we all gain weight when we come to Christ. But you know what I mean? So that's not good neither, truthfully, in all actuality. But for you, like, was it that depression that was causing you to do that? Or was it more of, I'm hanging out with my homies from around the way, and I'm doing what I do, and that's that, and I'm gonna do what I do, period?
Started off, you know, when you young and you just exploring life. I mean, as a little kid, I seen all the grown-ups drinking and partying, so I just thought it was a part of life. And when I first started off, that's what it was for, just to have fun. You know, I don't know if I was abusing it back then. You know, I can't really remember that far, but I started drinking at a very young age. I say I started abusing it when I thought I could take my life into my own hands, you know, like I can ignore issues and problems that I was really going through, you know. I just get drunk, you know, and year after year it just got worse and worse and worse. Even when people was telling me like, dude, you need to slow down, man, you drinking too much. Man, forget y'all. I ain't worried about what y'all talking about. You got to drink in your hand. Shut up. I'm just drinking. But the sum that all up with just the drinking alone, I really started drinking heavy when I lost my childhood sweetheart. We was together. We met each other in the 9th grade. We was together for 16 years. That was the one I thought I was gonna marry. Had kids. Diabetes took her out. You know what I'm saying? So in 2007, so I started drinking way more heavier than I ever drunk in my life. You know, and that's when my life started kind of spiraling out of control. You know, it was so much going on besides that. And all I can do is just, you know, try to numb myself with as much drink as I can. So I was no longer drinking for fun. I was just drinking to numb myself, drinking to, you know, deal with my inner issues, which really wasn't helping. You know, when you trying to smoke and drink your life away, that really ain't helping you solve no problems, because you can barely focus when you ain't in your right state of mind. You not making no important decisions. All my decisions was cloudy. I was making a lot of wrong decisions, you know what I'm saying? Period, point blank. So I had to let that go.
So for you, because you know, and I kind of don't want to talk about my testimony here, but you know, I can kind of go a little bit into that. When I would go through certain situations in my past, I would turn around and say, when I would find myself in those points, like when I was alone, lonely, in you know, I barely was a drinker, but let's say, okay, I was drinking that night, and I would find myself at a turning point where I would find myself praying and crying and pleading to the Lord, what's going on with my life? Help me. Did you ever find yourself in that situation where you were like, help me? What is this? I know I'm not supposed to be here. I know I'm better than this. Was there ever that point for you?
No doubt. It was many points like that. You know, I
Absolutely.
like to keep folk stories short because, you know, I'm 44, so I got a million and one stories to tell, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
But,
Absolutely.
but like when I moved to an apartment on the west side around 2016, you know, I was going ballistic in that building, you know what I'm saying? Because I was getting as drunk as I was by myself, living by myself, you know what I'm saying? So I was battling myself, but my demons was all around that building because I'm
Absolutely.
flipping, people flipping on me, but I don't care because I'm drunk. They drunk. I was crazy with it. But when that door at nighttime, when it was just me, I ain't had nobody to talk to but God. You know what I'm saying? And I was crying out to him for help, like, and to keep it all honest, I really wasn't blaming it on the alcohol. I was blaming it on like my inner demons, like why am I so out of control? Why I ain't listen to like, you know, positive leaders that's in my life trying to guide me the right way. I'm ignoring the wrong game. I'm listening to I'm listening to the bull crap knowledge, so to speak, but I'm ignoring that the real knowledge. And
Absolutely.
my life had enough. So it was many nights I cried out to God, like, man, God, you want me to stop drinking? Show me a sign, show me a sign. And he started showing me, you know what I'm saying? He definitely started showing me, and I started listening more. So, you know, when I submitted my life up fully over to him
Mhm.
inside apartment, you know what I'm saying? Where everybody thought I was going crazy, everybody thought I was ballistic, but I was really just battling my demons, trying to defeat them all, however which way I could. So I came to the throne 110% Kindu Kinte Hughley. It wasn't an act.
Amen.
And so God, I can honestly say God heard my cries, and then he started
Amen.
me showing me the way, and I followed.
You know what? And I love to hear those stories, and I love to hear that realness, because when I say that, and I said I don't want to go all into my testimony because I nearly lost my life to domestic violence. So you'll see me here, and a lot of people will say, oh, she must have had the best life. No, I almost died more than once. And people would ask, why can't you get away? Why can't you? Well, you will never know that situation unless you actually live it. It's not so easy to get away, and it would be many of nights that I would just plead to the Lord, why do you even still have me here? Take my life. Take this away from me. I don't want to be around. I don't know what you have for me. But today, a few years later, I know why now. My father was like, it's not your time. You have to go through this, even though I did not put you in this situation. You put yourself in these situations because he gives us our choices to make in life, right? But it helped me grow. And I thank my father for this because I survived it. I'm a domestic violence survivor. And, it has pushed me to do so many things and be such a leader towards women, strong women. I mean, I'm an advocate 2000% for women and men, because there's many abusive women out there that do abuse their spouse as well. So I am, that's something that I try to fight with. So when I hear stories like that, and that's why I like to get to the nitty gritty, because I get it. I know. And I could feel that when you were saying, look, I went through this. And even when nobody thought, because I'm sure then you're finding something else spiritually where a lot of people are like, yeah, whatever, he's not really serious. Look, I got a bottle of, I don't know what your drink of choice was, but I'll just say Hennessy or Tanqueray, because I know that's what we used to drink at my age. So I had a bottle of some Tanqueray, some Hennessy, what's up, some gin and juice. You want some, you know what I'm saying? And I'm sure at that time you were like, as much as I want to, no. And I'm sure there was times when you were like, and you had a drink, but I'm sure our father was like, you come back over here to me because I got a work for you to do. Yeah. So as you give your life to the Lord in 2016, now this happened on your own at home, or was this actually like somebody invited you to church?
Like because people think, that you get to this point overnight, and it's not like that. Like, I had questions for many, many years. Like, I don't even, some people see me to this day and they'll be reminding me about something I was saying about God, and I don't have no clue. Like, for real, I said that, and it might have been 1999, 2003. I don't remember none of them, because so I always knew it was a God. I had respect for God, but I wasn't trying to figure out what my purpose was on earth. I ain't care about where he was leading me away. I was living my life. You feel me? But back in 2011 is when I really considered changing. That's when I stopped being a part of the gangster rap and all of that. And he led me to the Christian rap. I wasn't really calling myself a Christian rapper just yet, but I became a set apart soldier. And I started rapping more positive. I started off still cussing and trying to, just being ghetto and positive. But he was like, no, you got to switch your own language. So, like, without even trying, I stopped cussing in my raps. You know what I'm saying? I stopped really. I love it. In my real life, too. You know what I'm saying? It might slip up here and there, but my language started changing. The people I was really surrounding myself with back then started changing. Like, I was going through this. Was years of me growing with Christ. But back in 2016 was when he was shaking me like, now you got to give up that alcohol, because you be a drunkard. Your mind got to be clear. You know what I'm saying?
So that was like your stronghold for you. See, for me, I was opposite. I used to cuss like a sailor, okay? My Latina little self used to sit here and I used to make new bad words. That was my... admit it, okay? I admit it. I used to cuss. That people look at me now, they're like, what? And I'm like, yes, I was a long work in progress, because man, and I'd be like, oh, it's itching.
You tell it. Mama, terrible.
So I totally understand, and that's awesome that he was able to take that from you, man. I every time I used to cuss, it's funny because now to me it's funny because I used to be like, oh, it's like my own, like the good and the bad. I'd be like, oh, I know I shouldn't have said that, but oh, that felt good because boy, did you just. I was like, God, please take it away from me, Jesus. I don't want to be doing this, And like I said, I was a work in progress. Like everyone else. And eventually, it just went away. I would just tell him, Lord, I don't know what it's going to take, but please take this away from me. Like, like I say, some people it's adultery, others it's lusting, others it's lying, it's stealing, whatever, drugs, alcohol. For me, it was cussing like a sailor. I used to cuss, and trust me, I would invent the new words. People would be like, your little self, what do you, but hey, but I feel bad about it now. And I used to always ask my father to forgive me, and he takes it away from you, when you do tell him and ask for forgiveness after doing things like that. Because I'm sure you had times, and that's the point of me saying that. I'm sure there was points that, you still had that alcohol like right in your face, or you still had that bottle left over around the house. And it was like, and then once you had that drink, it's almost like I'm explaining it, like the good and the bad within yourself, your conscience telling you, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that.
I was like, no, stop. Don't drink, period. No,
Absolutely.
stop.
Absolutely.
Man, at least drink a beer. Like, I'm still fighting. All right, I ain't gonna get too drunk, but I'm still drinking. Like I was against quitting. Like it really wasn't my decision. It was just what he was putting in me and where he was leading me and what he was showing me. So I got to a point where I was sick of the trouble. I was sick of the drama. I was sick of a lot of stuff that I knew that I needed to be sober to kind of handle. So I'm like, you know what, Lord, wherever you lead me, I'm a follow. And that's what I started doing. So when I made up the real decision to quit, I went all the way. You know what I'm saying? Because I could have ended up like anybody else, dead, in prison. You know what I'm saying? I ain't want to.
Cirrhosis of the liver.
You feel me? I'm like,
all kinds of stuff.
So what I did was let him lead me to treatment. I didn't even know treatment existed. I was happy. I was on probation, talking to my PO about it. And she was like, I'm working at, Nestle. At the time, I'm working at Nestle. And I'm telling her, like, you know what? I think maybe I do got an alcohol problem. I'm like, what do people do when they got alcohol problems and they need help? So she started telling me about treatment. So first I tried outpatient for a couple of weeks, and I'm like, nah, that ain't gonna work because
that ain't for me.
I'm gonna get bruised when I leave. They're like, man, all I know they talk about opiates, they talk about cocaine, they talk about crack. I was like the only alcoholic in there, like, nope, this ain't gonna work. So I went back to, like, I need something more in depth. So she told me about a place called Cats, you know what I'm saying? So I went there for 126 days, did everything I needed to do, got out, and ain't looked back since. I'm coming up on my second year sober. You know what I'm saying? I don't be thinking about drinking and getting drunk because I got too much purpose in me. I feel like I got too much to do on this earth. I ain't got time to be sitting around getting drunk and high.
And guys, he's got a beautiful wife. If you follow him on social media, I saw her pictures, very beautiful. So
baby,
he got that blessing too. Huh? That's right. That's right. So he got that blessing too. And that all comes with getting sober and getting saved. And he'll bring, and I bet you that's like your right-hand girl, your ace, your Bonnie and Clyde, but in a Christian way. You know what I'm saying? Like you guys are there. And I could see it through the pictures. You can see when people are actually having that connection through pictures. Pictures tell 1,000 words. So, congratulations. Because she came after the fact, or was she there the whole time? And she was like, look, if you don't change, I'm leaving you.
Perfect timer, because like she came, like, I want to say in the very, very, very beginning of me deciding to put the drink down for good.
Awesome.
God first. Whoa.
Oh, I love it.
Wow, here come the angel. And I'm telling her, same way I'm talking to you, I'm telling her about it. Like, I ain't putting no punches with her. I want her to know the real me from start to end. Like, from that point, we ain't actually know we was gonna make it this far. We had a great idea because God was putting some stuff in her heart and he already had it in mind. So we was like a match made in heaven the first day we met. So I took that as the perfect opportunity to just be 110% real, because that's all I try to be, is genuine. I don't want to come across a person that's like faking to be something I'm not, or, you know, ashamed to admit my wrongs or talk about my past. Like, you, to get me, to know me, to love me, you getting the real me. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. And that's how it's supposed to be.
That's the same thing I want to get when I, you know, Christians got a bad name. Sometimes when you say you're a Christian, they think you one way, and it ain't nothing like that. They think you about to be a Bible thumper. They think you about to be, you know, holier than thou and act like you better than people. They think that you scheming and scamming for money when you trying to like help the homeless. Or, you know, pastors got it bad. They doing a lot of work to reach people through the church and get people saved and inspire and motivate people to change their mind state and receive the blessings from God and all of that. But all people can see is how many times they pass the collection plate. You know what I'm saying?
You know, that is true. Yes, because there are those people, because, you know, like I try to tell people that you're not fighting a person, right? You're fighting the good and the bad. You're fighting the spiritual, right? Heaven and hell. That's what it's about, right? Everything that you do, everything from the second you open up your eyes, it's heaven and hell. I don't care if you're looking at something on social media. I don't care if you're watching the news. I don't care if it's your spouse, your kids, whatever the case may be. It's the good and the bad, right? So which way are you going to go? So you got to balance it out, right? But I am one of these church leaders that I do speak against any pastor who stands at that altar and you condemn one sin, but you don't condemn others. And then you're caught doing that one sin you were condemning everybody about, you know. So with that being said, you got to balance it out, because I will call people out. Like, you know, I have a really, really bad issue. And this is as a church leader, with any church leader talking about politics at that altar. Politics does not have place in the church. And people will try to show me, oh, well, here in the Bible. And I'm like, okay, I get that. But you telling these people, your sheep who know nothing, they're just learning the Bible. You're just telling them which way to vote because that's the way you feel. No, you're wrong for that. And I'm going to call you out on it. And I'll call them out. I don't care if you follow my post, you'll read some stuff that might not make people too happy. But I'm going to say what I'm going to say, because if that's what it takes for one soul to get saved, I did the right thing, and I did the right thing with my father, because I'm not going to follow what everybody else does. At the end of the day, I have to stand in front of Christ. You have to stand in front of Christ without your wife, without your children, without everybody else. So you're responsible for you. So guess what? I'm going to make sure that I have responsibilities for what I see and for what I read. I'm sorry to say, me seeing a pastor pretty much calling spirits, it almost seemed like a chant, saying that there would be one person in office and not the other. And I'm sure you saw it on social media. I'm sure you know who I'm talking about. This big evangelical pastor, mega church leader, you just don't do that. You just don't do that, because that person didn't even end up in office. So you just pulled all the sheep away from the church. You see what I'm saying? So it's pastors like that, leaders like that, that aren't really, that it's what the book of Daniel and the book of Revelations talks about, that are fake. Matthew, right? They're fake prophets. So all of these people are going to lead the sheep astray. And I will not stand here and allow that while I'm alive and I'm able to talk and I'm able to think and I'm able to say, wait a minute, what you're doing is wrong. The Bible talks about this, and I'm not going to allow it, me standing here, because I have the right to question what you're saying. And what you're saying is wrong. You know, how are you going to prophetize to me or to people that in March we will be having a new president? Yeah. We already have a president. You see what I'm saying?
Like, I'm still learning a lot. You know, I try my hardest not to condemn people. Like, if God allow me to see something like that, I pray for them. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I could
But
talk
you
to.
can call them out on it, my brother in Christ. Don't get me wrong. If our Father lets you know and say something came to you that, wait a minute, I've heard that before and that's not right, and you look it up in the Bible, you can call that leader back, including myself, and be like, sis, you were wrong for this, and correct me. And I expect anybody who follows Lunchtime with Anna do it.
But
Correct
it's like
the person.
people are fake Christian. It is people who use religion to get money. It is people who, throw off that put a glitch in God's truth and his word. It is people like them. The devil got his squad too. You know what I'm saying?
There you go. There you go.
Back of his hand. So like it's a lot of people that's higher up with Pacific titles and stuff like that, just to like throw salt on the game. So
absolutely,
that's when you got to use that discernment. If you really got that spirit,
there you go.
You got to know what to listen to and what to ignore. You know what I'm saying?
And see, that the problem is that now you have a lot of internet and a lot of crazy. I mean, I see some crazy foolery that I'm like, where are you guys getting this from? Like, this never existed before. Well, no, now we have the internet. I'm like, that's the problem.
Look, you know what I compare it to? Like, this is real talk. Me and my homie was just talking about this. Like, when I was growing up, like even in junior high and early high school and all of that, everybody wasn't rapping. It was just a few of us I'm talking about the entire city. Like, everybody wasn't a rapper. Nowadays, everybody rapping. You know what I'm saying? So that's the same thing about with pastors and prophets and all of that. Like, how could everybody be a prophet? People be calling prophets, and it's like, they are not a prophet.
Absolutely. Well, see, you get what I'm saying. And see, I'm not talking about everybody. I don't want, there are some real followers of Christ that have actually been given
everybody's not.
There you go. Everybody's not a pastor. Everybody's not, a church leader. I always tell people, I'm like, I ended up how I ended up, but truthfully, I don't even know how. Like, I consider more of a teacher. Like, I'll correct it real quick, and I feel like that's more of a gift than where I stand, even within the church as a leader, which also makes you a leader as your teacher. Same thing, but the way I even give a message, when I prepare for a message, I'm gonna give you the before, the during, and the after. I'm not just going to give you one little scripture and tell you it's bad to do this because of this. No, because then I'm not teaching you what it's about. And when I have my youth, that's what I would do. And that, to me, that's the right way to do it. Like I said, everybody's got their way, whatever, with theology or however it is that they do it. But for me, that's how that worked, and, even with you, I'm sure when you use your hip hop, and we'll go into that, you teach it. Like, it's like, okay, I can talk to you about the streets because I know the streets, or I know alcohol, or I know what goes on when you're running the streets, right? But at the same time, Christ is there. So it's a teaching. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's how I look at it. That's how I think people learn it.
I tell everybody, like, grow with me, because I know I'm loving the word Christian. I don't care how much Christians get criticized and stuff like that, because I just want people to know I am a true follower of Christ. Amen. But don't get it twisted. Like, I don't know everything. I'm still studying the Bible. It's absolutely like a lifetime commitment. You never know enough about Jesus. You never know enough about them scriptures. Mm-mm. You never know enough about the disciples. You know what I'm saying? The apostles. It's an ongoing process. So right now with me, I don't have a degree in theology and none of that. So I can't answer all questions. I don't know everything. You know what I'm saying? Some people think all right, Monday you decide to go to the altar and turn your life over. You know what I'm saying? You get baptized. And then Tuesday, people think you're supposed to know the whole entire Bible. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
You're right though. See, like, I'll tell you.
But grow with me.
Absolutely. Bro. I've been a work in progress for 25 years come June. 25 years. That's a long time. And I still don't know it all. Like, sometimes people will say something and I'm like, I don't remember that. Oh, I have to go back and read the Bible myself and be like, oh, I do remember. I didn't interpret it that way at that moment because where I was feeling this type of way when I read it that time. You know what I'm saying? And that does happen. So, hey, keep going forward. I was so entertained with the Bible when I first saw apps to be able to listen to it. I would play it all night long and just listen to the Bible while I was sleeping and sometimes wake up. And then I'd be like, oh, okay. And I did it for months and months on end. I don't know how many times I've listened to the Bible. I've read it a few times, but I've listened to it hundreds of times, and sometimes you just need that. Even as a couple, you just need that. Trust me, I know. So let's talk about your music. Man, I could talk to you for hours or hours. Let's talk about your music. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I got a bomb album out, y'all. I'm so proud of this album. It's powerful. You know what I'm saying?
That's what's up.
Dope beats. It's called From Glory to Glory. It's one of the hottest rap albums out on both sides, the kingdom side and for the streets. You know what I'm saying?
Amen. That's what's up. That's what's up.
Everybody, you know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody excluded. If you love good music, you will love my project. Go check it out. It's on all digital platforms. It's on my website, KinduKinte.com. That's KINDUKINTE.com. From glory to glory. I'm telling you, it's hot. I got some dope videos on YouTube. So please check out my channel. Subscribe, like, comment on what you see, on what you hear, because I got plans to explode, and it's all for the kingdom, trying to reach the people that wouldn't normally be reached. So the style of my music is a little bit edgy. You would think that, I ain't cussing to none of that. I ain't killing on no tracks. But you won't even, everybody who hear my album be like, they just be so amazed. Like, man, I did not expect your album to sound like that. Because when I'm a Christian rapper, they think I'm about to be the Kirk Franklin of rap. Ain't nothing wrong with Kirk Franklin, but he's straight gospel.
Talented, yeah.
Yeah, he very talented. I ain't taking nothing from him. People
Absolutely.
Say you're a Christian rap, you about to come with, nothing but straight scriptures and something that they don't want to hear. But they forget that a lot of us are realer than what some of these guys call real.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Most
a lot more.
You pay attention, people be talking about, man, that's real, and I'm the realest. And they tell the most lies. They the most manipulating people you'll ever meet.
I know that's right.
They backstabbers. They real. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Coming from a different cloth, and I'm playing on the different side. And I just, trying to wake some people up the best way I can and let God use me in the form and the fashion that he used me. So that's why I'm creating this dope music. Go get it.
I love it. And I'm going to connect you with a friend of mine and remind me off air. A friend of mine, and I know he wouldn't mind me saying his name because I interviewed him earlier this year. Red Fidel. I think you guys would do really good together. He actually, in the death of, just briefly, after Pac died, they did something out here in Atlanta, and he was selected to do, performance there. And in the interview, he actually talks about Pac's mom, how she came up to him, and she said, "You're just like him," because he's so talented. Like that's my buddy, Red. But I would like to connect you guys just because I know that connection, and Red knows, like, if somebody comes up to him, they're like, Anna sent me. He's like, oh, she must have seen something that, she thought we could collab together. So hopefully, that will work, because I think it would be a great connection. He is somebody good to be connected with. And I'm not sure if you're signed already or if you're working on that. But it's he does a lot of what they call the adult contemporary rap. So whatever your adult contemporary thing is, you don't want to be rapping about Percocets and Mollies, right? Because you're not on that level. You're on a different level, right? So you want to talk about maybe your grandchildren, you going to work, 401k, so forth, so on. And so he's got that kind of movement going on. And I think what I hear, I think y'all make a good match. So we'll see.
Right.
but he's a good connection, and I hope that you guys can collaborate together. Now,
too.
you gave contact on your website how to reach out to you. So I am gonna personally, because I do, everyone who I interview, I do get their album or whatever it is that I'm interviewing you about. So I will purchase your album and I will listen to it, you know, and I will send you feedback, or to your wife. Please make sure she sends me a friend request if she hasn't already, because I would sure like to get to know her. Okay, huh?
I'm gonna tell her to
Okay.
send request.
Yeah, because I would sure like to get a connection with her, huh?
Oh yeah, shit, y'all will love each other. Look, do me a favor. Look, when you listen to the album, right?
Uh-huh.
Make a video review for me. You know what I'm saying? Just be like, oh my God, I listened to Corey, and tell them how you feel for real. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? I'll do that. I'll do that. That's a special request. Nobody's ever asked me to do that, but you know what? I like to have that connection with anybody I interview with, because I want you to know that you have a friend no matter what. That if you need an interview in 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years, Lunchtime with Anna will still be here, and I will